Welcome. Today we're diving into what is honestly one of the most breathtaking chapters in all of Scripture, John chapter 8. It's this profound revelation of Jesus' grace and his glory, where we're going to see the light of the world stoop down to lift up the fallen, silence the accusers, and, well, declare freedom for all of us who trust in him.
Right at the heart of this entire chapter is this one central claim. Jesus says, "I am the light of the world." Just let that sink in for a moment. This incredible, awe-inspiring declaration from Jesus himself. Well, it's the truth that's going to light up every single encounter and every word we're about to explore together.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our journey starts in the temple, but this is anything but a peaceful morning. You can almost feel the tension hanging heavy in the air. It's this thick mix of dust and accusation and law and just this deep, profound shame. And right in the middle of it all, a woman has been dragged out for everyone to see.
So the scribes and the Pharisees, they think they've got him. They've set this perfect trap. See, the law of Moses is crystal clear about the punishment for her sin. So what's Jesus going to do? Does he condemn her and totally go against his own message of mercy? Or does he forgive her and completely violate the law? It's this brutal public test, and there seems to be no way out.
And right in that moment, with all this unbearable tension, Jesus does the very last thing anyone would expect. He stoops. Just think about that for a second. The Lord of the law, the one whose hands inscribed the commandments on tablets of stone, now he bends down and just quietly traces his fingers in the dust. The contrast is absolutely stunning.
And right there, in that simple act, everything shifts. It's profound. You've got the cold, hard demands of the law on one side. Accusation, stones, condemnation. But they're being met with something completely new. Instead of accusation, you have Jesus writing in the dust. Instead of stones, you get mercy. And instead of condemnation, he's offering freedom.
So then he stands up, and he says these words that just land with the force of thunder. Can you just imagine the silence that follows? The conviction just ripples through that crowd. I mean, those stones they were clutching so tightly, suddenly they must have felt impossibly heavy. And then, one by one, the accusers just turn and walk away, until nobody is left.
And right here, this is the very heart of the gospel. He looks at her and he offers grace before he asks for transformation. You see that? Mercy comes first, then the command. He doesn't just wave away her sin, not at all. He conquers it with love, absorbing the condemnation himself so that she could be the one to walk away in freedom. It's beautiful.
Okay, so right after this incredibly personal, intimate moment of mercy, the whole chapter just pivots. Jesus goes from this quiet act to making one of the most universal and profound declarations about who he is. He's not just showing us the light, he's saying, no, I am the light. So to really feel the weight of this statement, you have to know what was going on. It's the Feast of Tabernacles. And during this festival, they would light these huge lamps in the temple, and it was all to remember that pillar of fire that guided Israel through the wilderness. So Jesus stands up, right there, in that exact context, and basically says, you know that pillar of fire? That was just a symbol. I am the real thing. I am the eternal radiance of God's presence. Wow.
So what does that even mean, that he's the light? Well, it means he reveals truth. Right? It means he guides our steps, turning all our confusion into clarity. And maybe most beautifully, his light actually heals what it reveals. He's not exposing our sin to shame us, no way. He's doing it to set us free from it. To walk with him, that's to literally step out of darkness and into life itself.
Okay, so the conversation keeps flowing. It shifts now from mercy and identity to something really specific, the nature of true freedom. And Jesus starts talking about a kind of liberty that goes way deeper than just, political or social status. He's talking about a freedom of the soul. And this is the promise he makes. It's an absolute one. Now, the people listening to him, they thought they were already free. Why? Because they were descendants of Abraham. But Jesus, he's about to completely redefine what it really means to be captive and what it truly means to be free. And here's where Jesus makes this really crucial distinction. See, the crowd's idea of freedom was all based on their source, their family tree, their lineage from Abraham. But Jesus points to their true state. They're actually slaves to sin. So he offers a totally different path. He says true freedom doesn't come from an earthly bloodline, but from a divine source, the Son. He's the only one who can change our state from bondage to being free indeed.
And now the chapter builds to this absolutely stunning climax. All that tension that started with the woman in the dust, It's about to crescendo into this direct, undeniable revelation of who he really is, his divine, eternal identity.
This is the question, isn't it? It's been hanging in the air this whole time. He forgives sin like only God can. He calls himself the light of the entire world. He promises ultimate freedom. So, who is he, really? Who is he that he can do and say all these things? And then he says it, just 5 words. With these words, Jesus claims the sacred, unspoken name of God himself, Yahweh. Notice he doesn't say, before Abraham was, I was. He says, I am. He's declaring his own eternal, uncreated existence. He is placing himself completely outside of time, as the one ever-present God.
Do you feel the magnitude of that moment? The very same I am who spoke to Moses from a burning bush is now standing right there, in front of them, speaking face to face. He's not just some messenger of God's light. He is God's light, in the flesh.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just take a moment and just behold the beauty of Jesus that we've seen in this chapter. Let's gather up all these profound truths into one final, worshipful reflection.
I mean, this is the Jesus of John 8, right? He's the one who stoops down into our dust to lift us up. He's the one who shines into our deepest darkness to guide us home. He's the one who breaks the chains of sin to set us completely free. And he's the one who reveals himself as the great, the eternal I am.
And this might just be the most beautiful paradox of all. The holiness of God, that pure light that exposes every single shadow, you'd think it would drive sinners away, right? But in Jesus, that very same light becomes a light that embraces. It's a light that draws us near to be healed and forgiven and completely redeemed.
And so maybe we can just end with this prayer, a response to the beauty we've just seen. O Jesus, light of the world, shine into my shadows. Expose what is hidden, not to condemn me, but to cleanse me. Keep me walking in your brightness forever.